Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jenna, and today I'm going to be sharing all the things that I wish I knew postpartum. Postpartum was really not what I expected. It kind of smacked me right in the face in the best way, if that makes sense. In the worst and best way. It's the hardest but best time of your life. I don't know how to explain it, but if you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about. I want to share this because there's a lot of stuff that goes on postpartum and things that I wish I was aware of. Things I wish I could prepare for and things I wish that I could just mentally prepare for. There are so many things that happen that people don't talk about because it's not like the glamorous part, and when you have your baby, everyone's so excited to meet your baby, which that's understandable. Of course, you want to meet the baby, and I feel like postpartum kind of just gets pushed under the rug and no one really talks about it, and thank God a lot of people are talking about it more. Like, that is amazing, and I'm glad that that's happening, and I'm glad I had some resources when I was pregnant, but I want to make another resource for anyone out there who's struggling postpartum right now or is about to have a baby, no matter what number baby it is, or if it's your first baby, or if you're not even pregnant yet, just to make yourself educated or aware. Like I say in all of these types of videos, of course don't take my advice as medical advice. I'm not a professional, obviously. I'm filming a video in my basement, so I'm not a professional. Make sure you talk to your doctor if you have any concerns, especially if you have any mental concerns postpartum. Very serious, make sure you talk to your doctor. But again, this video is just going to be me sharing my experience with my journey postpartum, and everyone's is different, so I thought it'd be really fun if I added in some responses again of people sharing what they wish they knew postpartum after having their baby. So stay tuned. At the end there'll be a little collage of Instagram responses from moms sharing what they wish they knew about their postpartum journey. So with that being said, let's get into the first thing I wish I knew about postpartum. The first and one of the most important things that I wish I knew postpartum, and I want everyone else to know, is that it's okay. It is more than okay to not bounce back. I literally hate that term now. I never hated it before. In fact, that's all I thought about postpartum was bouncing back and being back to normal right away the day after birth, and just I hate it. I literally cannot stand it. I want to wipe it clean from anyone's memories that it's been pounded in our brain that we need to bounce back. You do not need to bounce back, and it's totally okay if you don't. Most likely you won't. You know, some ladies do, but you never know what they're struggling with deep down, and I think that's kind of how it was for me. The day after, I wanted to put on a nice outfit because I thought I would feel better, which it definitely did make me feel better, but I was like, I want to make sure that in these photos, this is really embarrassing to admit, by the way, and I'm super sorry for being superficial and being one of those moms that only shares the good parts, because I think I was really like that. But I remember I put on a dress and I put on makeup, and I wanted to make sure I looked nice for pictures because I wanted to bounce back and I wanted to look like it was nothing. I just birthed the baby and popped right up, and that is not the case at all. My first few weeks, actually many weeks, postpartum was very hard, and I don't think I told anyone how hard it was, not even my husband, because I didn't want to be like a burden, and I wanted to be strong, and I wanted to be, I don't know, like I just wanted to be able to do everything and pretend like nothing was hard. I was in a lot of pain, and a lot of pain, and mental like stress from just trying to act like everything was fine, and it was really tough. And I just wish that I would, oh gosh, I'm gonna get emotional. I just wish that I knew that it's okay to not, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional, especially on the first one. I just wanted to know, like, I wish I could go back and tell myself that it's okay if you don't bounce back, and it's okay if you need to take a break from like doing everyday stuff. But that's the first thing, and probably one of the most important things I wish I would have known, and I want everyone out there to know, is that it's okay to not bounce back right away, and it's putting more stress on you than anything. Most likely you won't bounce back, and that's okay. Our bodies aren't made to recover overnight. So Okay, hopefully that's the only time I'll get a little bit choked up. Okay, the second thing I wish I knew postpartum goes off of that last one, and it's that your clothes might not fit you for weeks or months. I thought once I gave birth, like, I'd go back to my pre-pregnancy clothes right away. I felt like I looked somewhat the same until I tried to put on my pants, and they were literally like this far apart from buttoning. And I didn't really have a belly much anymore, but my hips were just so much wider than normal that my pants didn't fit me, and my old bras didn't fit me because my ribs were wider. They were still like that from pregnancy, and it took, I can't remember, I think it took up to like 4 or 5 months for me to be able to go back to my regular pants. And I felt really embarrassed at first, but I put it on Instagram because I was like, you know what, if I'm going through this, someone else is probably going through this. And sure enough, a lot of ladies messaged me saying that they were also feeling that way, and it made me feel really comforted, I guess, like I was less alone. But I wish I knew that my body might not go fully back to normal, especially right away. The more I talk about this stuff, it makes me feel like I'm so selfish and vain, but these were real like thoughts and concerns and worries I had, and so I just want to share them because I know if I'm thinking them, someone else is probably thinking them too. So it's okay if your clothes don't fit you, and it's okay if you can't button your jeans 2 weeks after you had a baby. Okay? The third thing I wish I knew postpartum, and I wish I knew it early postpartum, is very important, and it's that it is totally okay and smart, and you should ask for help when you need it. It is necessary and detrimental to your mental health and just your overall recovery. You're not gonna recover as best you can, as properly as you can, if you're always completely maxed out on energy, if you're always completely drained and you never have a moment to gather yourself. You need to ask for help if you need help, because that's the smartest thing and most loving thing you can do for your baby and yourself. If you're not right in the mind, you're not going to be able to be taking care of your baby as well as you could be. And so I know it feels like you're failing. I don't know where this mentality comes from, but it does feel that way. If you ask for help, it feels like you're somehow failing yourself or your baby, but it's actually loving and important to do. The fourth thing that I wish I knew about my postpartum period is that you're gonna cry a lot, probably. I think most women do. It's just kind of inevitable. I think I mentioned in a video previously, my nurse told me your hormones go from literally the highest they will ever be when you're in labor giving birth to the lowest they will ever be after you give birth. That's what my nurse told me. I haven't actually looked and seen if that's true, but either way, your hormones are like everywhere. And I knew that was gonna happen. I knew I'd be emotional, but I did not expect to be how emotional and just like crumbly I was the first couple like weeks, maybe 2 weeks. It was just crying all the time, and it was pretty overwhelming because I was like, why is it like this? Why am I crying all the time? And I just wish I knew that it's normal and it will probably happen. But again, if you're feeling depressed or anxious or like you're gonna hurt yourself or your baby, please reach out to someone. Very, very important that you reach out to someone. The fifth thing I wish I would have known and wish I would have put into practice is that your body needs rest. You just gave birth and you are taking care of a new baby, especially if you're a first-time mom, you've never gone through it, you're like, what the heck is going on? But this goes for any mom who's just given birth, no matter how many babies you have. You need rest because your body's not going to recover if you're under so much stress. So, like I said earlier, if you need to ask for help, ask for help. If you're blessed to have someone at home in this time, make sure to have them help you because that's what they're there for. They're there for to help you and to spend time with their baby too. And make sure you take advantage of that. Take a nap, or take a nap when the baby's sleeping, take a bath when the baby's sleeping. Just make sure you give your body the energy by resting that it needs. The sixth thing that I wish I knew about this time postpartum is that it is totally okay to say no to visitors. I don't want this to come across in a negative way at all. I want to just be very clear that we are so blessed with all the family and friends we have around us and the support system we have and how much they love us and Hazel. So I don't want this to come across the wrong way at all, especially if you're watching this, family or anything. When Hazel was born, we had someone in the hospital or at our house, I think every day for maybe like 2 weeks, or at least the first week for sure. And of course that was a huge blessing. I love that she has so many people who love on her and love on us and helped us with meals and everything. I'm so thankful for that. Don't take that like I'm not thankful. But my husband and I both did feel a little bit stressed, I guess. Like we couldn't spend the time transitioning into a 3-person family right away, and so it just became a little bit overwhelming, especially when I was just having a really rough time postpartum. I wanted to just sit and like hold my baby, and I couldn't really do that. And so there was a time when I was having a rough day and Hazel was having a rough day, and someone asked if they could come over, and I said no, because it was just not a good day. It was gonna cause more stress to me, and I just wanted to have a chill day with my baby because she was still brand new. And yeah, I just want you to know that it's okay to say no to visitors, and I think it's actually smart to say no to visitors sometimes, to give yourselves time to bond with each other and your new baby and everyone as a family. I just remember sometimes where I just felt like really kind of lonely having people there all the time, because I felt like I wasn't even getting a chance to fully be with my baby. But again, I want to reiterate that I am totally so thankful that we had so many people loving on us and helping us, because I got help with the dishes, we got cooked for, people were changing her diaper, and I got a nap, I got baths. It was amazing. But also, if you need a break and you need a day to yourself with your baby, that's totally okay, and you don't need to feel guilty saying no visitors, because it's your baby and your family. The 7th thing I wish I was aware of before I went through this was milk coming in. If you are planning to breastfeed, or I think it happens to everyone, even if you're not planning to breastfeed and then you have to take medication to stop it, but if you're planning to breastfeed, especially and your milk comes in, like, I'm not talking about the colostrum that you're feeding your baby the first 1 to maybe even 3 days, but I'm talking like the milk, like when it comes in. My mom, I think, tried to warn me. She would say like, oh, you have no idea, it hurts so bad. I was just thinking like, oh, it's always worse when someone else talks about it, because you can't actually feel it yourself, and when you get there it won't be that bad. Anyway, when my milk came in, I thought it came in and I was like, oh, this hurts, but it's not that bad. And my mom's like, honey, that's not your milk coming in, that's like half milk, half colostrum. And I was like, no, like, she doesn't know. Who am I kidding? She had 3 kids, she knows. But the next morning when it did fully come in, I was like, oh, my mom was right. It was terrible, and I don't want to say that to scare anyone, but it's so bad that you think, I am not gonna be able to do this. But the good thing about it is that when you feed your baby, it goes away, and then it will come back, and then it goes away. But it only lasts like 2 days, maybe, like 2 or 3 days, and then it will get regulated. But I don't know if it happens to everyone, but when it comes in, it was just really intense, and they're like full-on rocks. Like, you touch them and it's like hard. And you're like, is this supposed to happen? I wish I was aware of how bad it actually is for the first like day or 2, and I also wish I knew that it totally gets 100 times better like within a couple of days. So hang in there, just hang in there, know that you can get through it. The 8th thing that I wish I knew postpartum is not even about me, but it's about the baby. I know, especially like me as a first-time mom, I was so concerned about giving my daughter a pacifier. I was like, oh, she already can't latch. If I give her a pacifier, she's not gonna latch. Even worse, because nipple confusion, and everyone talks about it. Everyone talks, if you give them a bottle or a pacifier, they're gonna have nipple confusion. So we went, I think, 2 or 3 days without a pacifier. And then I was like, you know what? This mother needs sleep. So I gave her a pacifier, and guess who slept 5 hours? Yeah. So after that, I was like, oh my gosh, I could have been sleeping these past few nights if she would have just had a pacifier. And I just wish I knew not to stress about giving your baby a pacifier. If you don't want to, cool, that's fine. It's your baby. But I know for the next baby, I will be giving them a pacifier again, because that was very handy and very helpful, and it comforted her, it made her feel good, made her sleep, and it gave both of us time to rest. So I just wish that I knew pacifiers are not terrible, and you're not terrible if you give your baby a pacifier. Alright, we are almost to the end. We have 2 left, I think, maybe 2 or 3. But the 9th thing that I wish I knew postpartum is about a retained placenta. I wish I knew what that was because it's something I went through. Basically what a retained placenta is part of your placenta gets stuck in your uterus, and it can cause infections, it can cause trouble getting pregnant again, it can cause lots of different things if you don't get it taken care of. And I had no idea what it was, but I wish I knew what that was so that I just was aware of what was going on. That it's possible that your placenta could get a little bit stuck inside of your uterus. Okay, so we do have 2 more, I forgot one, but the 10th thing that I wish I knew about my postpartum recovery is tear care. I don't think I was educated well on this at all in the hospital. They basically told me my daughter's awake, so I'm gonna go grab her and she's gonna finish this video with us. Okay, so back to talking about tear care. I feel like I wasn't very educated on this in the hospital. Basically all they told me was to put like the tux pads on it and take baths, and that's it. Like that's pretty much all I got. And I was thinking to myself, I just had like such a terrible tear and I don't even know what to do with it. Like I don't know how to recover. And I wish I knew all the different types of things you could do to help yourself recover from a 4th degree tear, or any tear for that fact. But I wish I knew I could go to, you like my necklace? Yeah? I don't know, just more things that would help me in that time not feel so like lost and scared. I just don't think there was enough education. And maybe that's my fault, maybe I didn't ask enough. Yeah, I wish I knew how to take care of my tear better and recover better. And the last thing that I want to talk about and what I wish I knew postpartum is that you might feel lonely, and it kind of sounds sad to talk about that, but I know I did. It was kind of like when people would come over and I had to go feed her and it was so hard to make her latch, I had to go in a separate room, and I would hear everyone laughing in the living room, and I just felt lonely. Like I felt like I was missing out, and you know, I still feel that way sometimes. I think a lot of moms do. It can just be sort of lonely. Just make sure that you talk to someone about it. And know that a lot of other moms feel the same way. I saw a cute little graphic. I'll see if I can I'll see if I can put it on the video, but it was a picture of a mom looking sort of lonely breastfeeding, and in the middle of the night, it was like a little comic, and it showed everyone in the world, like everything was black except for this room where she was feeding her baby. And then it went to the next picture. I might be describing this wrong, but it went to the next picture, and then it zoomed out and it showed her bedroom with the light on, and then like hundreds of other bedrooms with the lights on with moms feeding their babies. And I remember thinking that, and I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. When I'm up at like 2 a.m. rocking my baby, some other mom out there is too, and it made me feel a little bit less lonely. But I just want you to know that it's okay if you feel lonely sometimes, feel like you're missing out. Don't dwell on that. Just know that you're not missing out. You are taking care of your baby and you're doing the best thing that you can be. Okay, so that's it for the things I wish I knew postpartum. Just like in the last video, I'm sure there would have been many, many more if I would have thought longer or just wrote down every single thing I've ever thought of, things I wish I knew postpartum. But those were my 11, and I hope that you got some insight or some, I don't know what the right word is, but just I hope it helped you in some way. Right. We hope it helped them, huh? Yeah, we do. But yeah, that's it for this video. Remember, there is going to be a little collage of answers from other moms saying what they wish they knew postpartum, and yeah, make sure you take a look at those because everyone's journey is so much different. But that's it for this video. If you are brand new here or you've been watching me for a while and you're not subscribed yet, then feel free to subscribe and join our little community. We'd love to have you. I hope you liked this little series that we did. That's it for this video. Make sure to find me on Instagram and tell me if you came from this video. I would love to hear that. But that's all. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you back next time. Bye!